Jimmy wants to call this forgotten politics. I wanted to call it forgotten politicians. We're just agreeing to disagree here right now. It's only the second episode. Also, if you would there, let us know in the comments if we should keep doing this. Between me and Jimmy, boy oh boy, we got a whole bunch of dirty politicians that we could talk about here. Today, we're talking about the Bush administration, Bush senior administration there. Even before that, when he was the vice president, but not before that when he was the leader of the CIA. So let's get into it here. On June 29th, there, 1989, Washington's conservative newspaper, the Washington Times, dropped a bombshell by running a story describing a gay prostitution ring there that reached into Bush Sr.'s White House. With a headline taking up the entire front page, the Washington Times announced homosexual prostitution inquiry ensnares VIPs with Reagan Bush. Callboys took tour of the White House. Uh, Now that the tour took a tour, that don't sound no bad, so bad, you know. Male prostitutes are allowed to go and see their nation's White House there if they want to. Um, but let me tell you, the details there was just as salacious as the headline, describing a federal investigation into a gay prostitution rings, whose clients included key officials of the Reagan and Bush administration there, and the U.S. military officers also. Some of the clients had the kind of access that enabled them to arrange 1 a.m. White House tours for their friends, including but not forgetting the male prostitutes there. In a nutshell, get it? During Bush's time in office in the 1980s, both as vice president and as president, male and female prostitutes was routinely waltzing in and out of the White House. Obviously, this must have been pre-Epstein there, huh? They must not have got a hold of that guy yet. The IDF didn't drop him off there. Mossad there. Um, and Even if Bush himself had not partaken, and the Washington Times dropped titillating hints that he actually might have, uh, it's highly unlikely that he was unaware of what was going on there, especially considering that Bush had once headed the CIA. Pentagon officials told the Times that throughout the 80s, military and civilian intelligence was worried that a nest of homosexuals, quote, high in the Reagan and Bush administrations might have been penetrated, get it, by Soviet agents. The concern was that young male prostitutes was being used to compromise high ranking officials and rendering them vulnerable to blackmail there. So, like I said, pre Epstein, the Mossad hasn't dropped him off yet to get intelligence for blackmail yet there. It was a huge story, and then just like that, snap, it disappeared. The U.S. attorney running the inquiry, who had initially cooperated the Washington Times, suddenly clammed up, and the newspaper's access to the details about the inquiry dried up, almost like a boy's butt. But let me tell you something there. Um, you're telling me that the head of the CIA, vice president, and president, all three of those in one person, uh, the story about his administration about gay prostitutes came out and it disappeared? Who's shocked here? Is if anybody's shocked, leave a comment there in the comments. Um, the investigation was allowed to quietly gather dust before it was finally shelved and just as quietly dropped. I'm surprised they didn't burn it up there like the MK Ultra, but that could be in another episode there. Um, it was an illustrative example of Washington, D.C. effectively circling the wagons to snuff out a scandal that threatened to splatter dirt far and wide. Yeah, well, there. Uh, it was going to ruin the government and ruin the government's reputation, so of course, the media that was owned by the government is going to cover it up there. Um, that's really all we got on this one here. I mean, if you want to call that all, uh, leave a like, share, and subscribe to Jimmy's channel. And there's a link in the description to mine. You could like, share, and subscribe to my channel there. With that, this has been Forgotten Politics or Forgotten Politicians. I'm Vin Dipolino, signing off.